When news broke that John Lodge, the legendary bassist and vocalist of the Moody Blues, had died at the age of 82, the rock world fell into silence. But as tributes began to pour in, one thing became impossible to ignore. Some of the things he said in his final interviews and lyrics sounded hauntingly prophetic, almost as if Lodge somehow knew his time was near. Before his death, John Lodge was still active, performing, writing, and reflecting deeply on life, legacy, and faith. In one of his last interviews, he said something that now chills fans to the bone. "Life is a passage, not a destination. I just hope my music keeps speaking when I no longer can." At the time, it sounded like poetic reflection, but looking back, it feels like a goodbye, one we didn't realize was happening. Even more eerie is how his final performances carried a strange energy. Those who saw him on stage earlier this year described him as peaceful, grateful, and almost otherworldly. He smiled more, spoke slower, and thanked fans for sticking with him to the very end. Was it just sentiment, or did John Lodge already sense his final curtain call approaching? His 2019 album, BYOND, The Very Best of John Lodge, feels like another sign. Instead of just revisiting old material, Lodge re-recorded his classic tracks with fresh emotion. Ride My Seesaw, Isn't Life Strange, Legend of a Mind, songs about existence, mystery, and the unknown. In hindsight, they read like an artist closing a personal chapter. And then there's his message to fans during lockdown. "We're only here for a short while, but the music stays." That phrase has now become one of the most shared quotes on social media since his passing. It feels like Lodge was preparing everyone, gently, for the moment when his voice would fade, but his songs would not. The deeper you look into John Lodge's words, the more unsettling they become. In one of his last recorded messages to fans, he said, "Every song I've written is a conversation with my future self." Fans who revisited that clip after his death couldn't shake the feeling that Lodge had in some way already written his goodbye long before the world realized it. Take his lyrics from Isn't Life Strange? "The dreams we dream, the songs we sing, are only echoes of the love we bring." Decades later, that line feels like a summation of his life's philosophy, that music was a mirror to his soul, and love was his truest legacy. Even on his 2017 solo album, 10,000 Light Years Ago, he reflected on mortality and time, singing, "We're travelers through the ages searching for our home." It's as if he knew that his journey would soon reach its final destination. But perhaps the most emotional of all came during an interview where he talked about his faith. Lodge, a devout Christian, once said, "I don't fear death. I believe in continuity, that we pass through this life into another chapter." After his passing, that line resurfaced everywhere. It wasn't just faith talking, it was peace. He wasn't afraid of death. He had simply accepted it. Close friends later revealed that in the months before his death, Lodge had become more introspective. He spent more time with family, often talking about legacy rather than fame. He told one bandmate, "The Moody Blues will always exist in spirit because love doesn't die, it transforms." When that quote resurfaced after his death, it sounded almost supernatural, a message from a man who knew he was nearing the end, but found comfort in knowing that his music would outlive him. And indeed it has. Since his passing, streams of Moody Blues classics have skyrocketed. Fans are revisiting old albums, uncovering hidden meanings, and sharing his interviews with renewed emotion. Some even say they feel his presence in his songs, that haunting bass line, that calm voice, that sense of eternal wonder. Maybe John Lodge didn't predict his own death in the literal sense, but through his music, his interviews, and his words, he left behind something more powerful, a roadmap of peace, acceptance, and transcendence. He didn't just make music, he wrote his own farewell letter to the world, wrapped in melody and meaning. In the end, his message remains clear. Life is fleeting, but art is forever. And John Lodge, the man who turned sound into soul, will never truly be gone. His voice still whispers through the echoes of time, reminding us that love, faith, and music outlast death itself. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, because in our next video, we'll be exploring the Moody Blues' secret breakup, what John Lodge finally admitted before he died. You don't want to miss this one. So maybe John Lodge didn't just play music. Maybe he spoke to eternity. Every lyric, every bass line, every whispered harmony carried pieces of a man who understood that time would one day silence his voice, but never his message. Now, as fans revisit those words, it feels as if he was preparing us for this moment all along. His passing hurts, but his music makes it strangely peaceful, as though he left the trail of sound to guide us through the silence. When you think about legends like John Lodge, you realize they never really leave us. Their voices stay in the air, their energy lives in the songs, and their souls are etched into the chords they once played. We're not just mourning a rock icon, we're celebrating a man who turned sound into something spiritual. A man who showed that even in a noisy world, you can still find beauty, meaning, and truth in melody. So, tonight, wherever you are, play one Moody Blue song. Let Nights in White Satin or Isn't Life Strange fill your room. Close your eyes, and you'll feel him. That gentle bass line, that soulful voice, and that unmistakable calm. It's more than nostalgia. It's connection. It's proof that John Lodge still lives through every fan who presses play. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. We've covered so many stories that uncover the hidden truths behind your favorite artists, stories about loss, legacy, and the secrets the media never told. So after this video, go check out our other uploads. Watch The Moody Blues' Secret Breakup, what John Lodge finally admitted before he died, or The Untold Truth About Rock Icons Who Vanished from the Spotlight. Each one reveals another side of the legends you thought you knew. After watching this, make sure you check out our video titled Anna Keneally's Secret Technique That Impressed Rush Instantly. It's one of our most watched videos, and it dives deep into how a new generation drummer stunned one of the biggest rock bands in history. You'll love it if you care about musicians who redefine what's possible. And if you believe these stories deserve to live on, then do one simple thing: subscribe to the channel. Hit that red button, turn on notifications, and join our growing community of music lovers who refuse to forget the greats. Every view, every comment, every like helps keep their memory alive and helps us keep creating deeper stories that matter. Because this channel isn't just about music, it's about legacy, memory, and the sound of forever. This is Lifting Souls Rena, and this has been another deep dive into the echoes of rock history. Until next time, may John Lodge's soul rest in rhythm, and may his music play on forever.